Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Memphis. Monday Night Raw returns with non-stop action, unmatched energy, and the superstars you love.
We don't get mad, we get even. We don't go home till we beat them. This is our time, we ain't leaving. Give me the crown undefeated.
Witness the moments you'll never forget. Monday Night Raw, Memphis. Monday, February 16th. Tickets and ringsider packages on sale next Friday.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. We're at FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you didn't start celebrating too early last night when the Grizzlies led by as many as 16 points. Crypto.com arena over Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and the Los Angeles Lakers, because you ain't going to believe what happened in the fourth quarter.
I bet I could believe it.
Yeah, I bet you could, too. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let's set today's schedule for you. Michael Eaves, he was up late last night. I stayed up late with him. He was hosting Sports Center after, whoa, boy. Was that a Sunday night football game, or was that a Sunday night football game? Bennett, I went into that not really caring one way or another. By the end of it, I was exhausted.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Some former Tigers making some noise.
Shouts to Calvin Austin.
Yep, shouts to Kenny Gainwell.
Aaron Rodgers survives. Lamar Jackson does not. Missed kick at the buzzer. Mike Tirico was great. Talk to Michael Eaves about all that stuff. He's going to join me in the next segment. Finish talking to Michael Eaves. We're going to take a break. Come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers extended their winning streak to 3 games this weekend with a 76-70 victory at Rice. So back to 500. Next up, Florida Atlantic on Sunday. We'll talk Tigers in about 40 minutes. By the way, we are now 9 full weeks into this college basketball season. There are still 6 undefeated teams. That's very rare to have this many undefeated teams this late into the season. I'll tell you how rare. We'll do that in just a bit. Ole Miss football coach Pete Golding confirmed this weekend that current LSU offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. will call plays for the Rebels in their national semifinal against Miami. A lot of the position coaches, though, that were with Ole Miss against Georgia are not going to be with Ole Miss against Miami. They are back in LSU and working for the Tigers. I'll get you updated on the weird, unprecedented situation in Oxford. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Song Sung Blue, the hit film from famed Memphis Craig Brewer, now has a streaming release date. I'll tell you when you'll be able to watch it from home. We'll do that in the third segment. And It's an end of an era over at 92.9 FM ESPN. Our buddy Jeff Calkins.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. He has announced that he is leaving radio at the end of the week. We will pay our respects during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start just by saying hello. Hey, Bennett, how you doing? It's been a minute. How you been?
I'm good.
How you been? Happy 2026 to you. That's the year, right?
This is the year,
2026. I hope it's been great for you so far. We're 5 days into it. I hope it's been okay.
I hope it's been good for you too, man. I saw you were in the woods.
I was in the woods. I was in the mountains.
Yeah.
I was a mountain man. Jessica Benson, you know our friend Jessica over there. She asked me this morning. I walked in before, I walked in during the break because it'd be rude to walk in any other time. So I walked in during the break and she said, How was your holiday? And I said, better than Maduro's.
Yeah, it was better than his.
But probably not as good as Tom Brady's. So somewhere in between Tom Brady's and Maduro's.
Why was Tom Brady's holiday good?
Oh, buddy.
I'm checked out. I know.
Oh, buddy.
I'm just like this morning really refreshing myself. I try to do a bit of a detox over the holidays.
Let's see if I just literally asked that question. Why was Tom Brady's holiday good? What comes up? This ain't really what I was looking for. Anyway, my own personal holiday was probably somewhere in between Maduro's and Tom Brady's.
Okay.
You can Google that on your own time.
Okay.
All right. But I was in the mountain. It was beautiful. Here, I'll give you the quick version since you asked. Our middle guy's birthday is December 27th, and it always kind of gets lost in Christmas. We've talked about this before.
I get it.
People are like,
Mine's the 22nd, so I understand.
You know exactly what he's dealing with, and so we tried to be more intentional about that this year. He's turning 12, and it was like, hey, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, but your birthday's in a month. What do you want to do for your birthday in a month? Let's not let this sneak up on us because everybody gets busy and, basketball season starts. It's the holiday shopping season. My wife owns a store.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
So it was like, hey, what would you want to do? Whatever you want to do, we'll do it. He said, our Aiden, that's our oldest son, his big brother, and Julie, that's Aiden's girlfriend, are they coming home for Christmas? He said, of course they're coming home for Christmas. He said, here's what I would like to do, because they live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He said, I would like to go back to Chattanooga with them after Christmas and just sort of spend my birthday with them and spend the week with my big. It was the sweetest thing in the world. And so we said, okay, if Aiden's up for it and Julie's up for it, it's fine with us. And they were up for it, and so it was perfect. So they go to Chattanooga, but I don't want to make Aiden drive him all the way back from Chattanooga when it's time to come home and get ready for the restart of school. So we just sort of planned at some point last week, hey, if you're not doing the show, like if Bennett and Jess and everybody's working except for you and Vernon, and you're kind of freed up.
That took a few days as well.
and you're kind of freed up. Hey, why don't we just rent a house in the mountains in Chattanooga or the area, and we'll just all spend New Year's together there in the mountains. And I was like, all right, let's do that. So we rented a house. Our options were limited because we waited to the last minute, and I should have invited you, honestly. The house was too big for us. But it had a pool and a pond and a hot tub and ping pong tables and the whole deal. And so we just spent New Year's watching basketball games and Ole Miss football games and sitting in hot tubs, and we went and did a paintball war. I think I'm pretty good at paintball.
That's fun.
You don't mind me? It is kind of fun.
Paintball's fun.
Paintball is kind of fun. So we just had I spent New Year's in the mountains.
Nice.
We had 3 nights in the mountains and came home Saturday, and so it was a terrific holiday. Somewhere between Maduro's and Tom Brady's. How about yours? Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I mean, we just chilled. Yeah. We just chilled.
Chill's the way to do it.
Yeah, we just chilled. It was a good little break. I feel good.
You know what? I feel good too. Rejuvenated. Yeah. My life's about to get real hectic. Like I'm, going to leave here and go straight to the airport, and it's the way I'm going to be living for the next few months. So it was nice to have, a week plus to unplug a little bit, detach. Like there are things happening, and I'm interested in them, but I don't have to keep my head on all the time, like planning on how I want to talk about something and when I'm going to talk about something. So it was nice to have, the freedom to be able to take advantage of that time and rest up and recharge, and now I'm ready to go.
Yep, good.
Hey.
The Grizzlies did not recharge.
Game 35 of a scheduled 82. It was played last night in Los Angeles. It was fun for a while.
Sure.
I had fun for a while. But in the end, it was just another blown lead resulting in the 20th loss of the season. Final score, Lakers 120, Grizzlies 114. Even with Zach Edey and John Morant in street clothes and Cedric Coward eventually joining them.
It's never ending. It's never going to end.
After an awesome first half.
Mm-hmm.
The Grizz led by as many as 16 points in the game, by 4 points with just 8:39 remaining. And then Tomas Isolo's team was outscored 37-27 in the fourth quarter, lost the game by 6. So the updated record is 15-20. The updated losing streak is 4 games. Next up tomorrow night, Spurs inside FedEx Forum. What'd you make of what you saw last night?
I mean, like the Set injury was just massive. He was the leading scorer for the Grizzlies in the first half. He was on his way to having a huge game. I think he had 16 and 9 in the first half last night.
16 points and 9 rebounds in 13 minutes. He was awesome. And then he stepped on a foot.
Yep.
And then it was back to the locker room. And then it was...
Yeah, it happened like right before halftime.
Yeah.
And it was so deflating because I felt like he was on his way to maybe having a career night. And it just the same thing that we've seen over and over again. It sucks, man. It's just been the tale of the team the past couple years. It just is.
I mean, like while I was out, I know we had another substitution patterns controversy.
Whatever.
And
I can't get involved in all that when you're playing guys that like probably wouldn't get minutes under any normal circumstances.
I will say this. The biggest issue facing this franchise right now is not the head coach. It's not his substitution patterns. It's the health of the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who the head coach is and how they sub. It would be hard to win consistently relying on the players they're having to rely on. Just last night, as Jess and CJ pointed out earlier, you're playing big chunks of the game or the entire game, and your point guard rotation is like Cam Spencer. Love him, but second round pick, who on opening day, if somebody had said, "You think he's going to be in the rotation this season?" You'd say, "No, probably not," unless it's like, everybody's hurt. He's starting at point guard last night,
Mm-hmm.
all right? And his backup's Javon Small.
He's playing crunch time minutes in the fourth quarter, which, no disrespect, he was good. Like, he's been good.
Yeah,
Both of those guys have been good still.
Obviously, no disrespect. You'll get the point. When you are playing, the Lakers or basically anybody, and your point guard rotation is 2 people who aren't supposed to be in your rotation, and your big rotation is a dude on a 10-day and another guy who isn't really supposed to be in your rotation. Like that's your 1 and your 5. You're relying on 4 men who shouldn't be playing heavy minutes in the NBA.
Right.
God bless them, but that's the truth. So that's the main issue, and it's very difficult to have strong opinions about anything else until that is resolved. Until you get to a place where Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't required to be your best player, because it seems pretty clear he struggles with that. If you need Jaren to be your best player consistently, you're going to be an inconsistent basketball team. All right? That seems crystal clear at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So until he's not asked to be that, until Zach Edey and Cedric Coward and John Morant and Jaren Jackson and Jalen Wells, and we ain't seen it, so you don't even talk about it, but one of the big off-season things was Ty Jerome. Until we get all that together, I don't know what to do other than just try to win every game you can, keep your head above water, try to stay above the teams that are super bad and not even really trying to win, which, by the way, is what they're going to do.
Maybe. I think so. I mean, what we were talking before we left for the break, we were saying, the thing is they're comfortably in 9. Like, they're comfortably in the 9.
Well, they're still comfortably in 10. I mean,
They are comfortably in 10, but they lost 9.
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be hard to finish outside of the top 10. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's going to be hard to finish outside of the top 10.
Sure.
But I wouldn't rule it out if things don't get a little healthier. But it's going to be, I just feel like this is the life we're going to live. They're going to be hovering around 9, 10. It ain't where you want to be, but this is sort of where they're going to be, I would assume. And then hopefully at some point the roster is some semblance of what it should be, and you can get a better idea of what you're going to be once you see that. So I don't have any real strong opinions about what a basketball team with Cam Spencer, Javon Small, Christian Coloco, and Jock Landale looks like, because that ain't supposed to be a basketball team. All due respect, but these guys are not supposed to be playing heavy minutes a Sunday night game against the Lakers on the road when the other team's got Luka and LeBron. And by the way, that's your biggest issue.
Jake LaRavia.
And Jake LaRavia.
That man's amazing against the Grizzlies.
Ooh, gee, get him.
Not so much anyone else, just
the Grizzlies. Just
yeah.
the Grizzlies. I will say this, because there was the one game where I was out where it was just undeniable. It was like, you got a lead, and then you took these guys out, and you lost the lead, and then you left them out too long, and by the time they came back in, it was a tough situation, and then it went the wrong way, and you're just standing there post-game trying to weigh the pros and cons of minute restrictions and thinking long-term against, you just blew another lead. And as that happened, and I saw the discourse on social, people were mad. And I get it, because this is what bothered me last season. Different coach, but same type of stuff. Like, man, you're up 4 with 8 minutes to go. Let's just go win the game. Let's just go win the game. Instead of like, well, don't want to bring somebody back too early. Just go win the game. How about go up 11 instead of have your 7-point lead go down to 4 before you bring somebody back in? Yeah. How about let's go up 11 and then try to make it 15? Like, let's make the most important thing in this moment winning this game. Around here, I don't think that's been the priority enough for a couple of years now, at least. And you had another recent example of that. And I've talked to a lot of coaches about this, man, about just the strategy of it, the idea behind it. And what I gather from most coaches is it's a thing that sounds good. It's hard to implement. It might work in some places, some countries, some leagues with some players. Hard to do in the NBA, particularly with this group of players. Because here's, on some level, oversimplistic, but you'll get it. The mindset behind shorter stints and shorter minutes is when you're on the court, you can play even harder than you otherwise would, because you're not going to be out there as long. You're only playing 3 instead of 6. So play really hard, even twice as hard as you otherwise would play. The problem with that is you got to convince Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant and your other best players to play harder than they are equipped to play. They already think they're playing hard. Whether they're right or wrong, they already think it's inconceivable to them to go out and play harder than they're used to playing. They've been playing this way their whole life. They think they're playing hard. So this whole, I'm only going to leave you in for 3 minutes, so go run through the walls. It's just like, it's a mindset thing that doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't work. It's hard to get to work. And you ready for this? It's not working. It's not. It's not. The biggest issue is the roster, the health of it. But the idea that you're getting a better John Morant or Jaren Jackson Jr. or anything with this approach to substitutions, that it's for the greater good, prove it to me. You can't. You can't prove it to me. You can't show me that it's helping you right now, and you can't show me that it will help you later in the season. You can't prove it. You can have an idea about it, a theory about it, but you can't prove it. And I think people are tired of watching it. Simply put, the Grizzlies aren't healthy enough and don't have enough good players to be playing as many people as they try to play sometimes. The guys they leave on the court in crucial moments aren't good enough to be on the court. That's the biggest explanation for why you keep blowing these leads. And they blow a lot of leads. It's because the other team's got better players than you on the court while your best players aren't on it. That's a problem. And I don't mean the ones just in street clothes. I mean, sometimes the ones who have uniforms on and have been playing well, sometimes the ones who have just transitioned don't get taken right out of the game. Everything I'm being told by coaches, it hurts rhythm, hurts chemistry. It doesn't motivate players to play harder as much as it just pisses them off. I would address that. I would fix that. But we got plenty of time to talk about that.
Yep.
Michael Eaves up next.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
The world needs B2K.
B2K's breakup was a huge shock to their fans.
Boys for Life Tour.
Grizz Nation, Friday night just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and on Mondays in the second segment, I'm joined by Michael Eaves, who, of course, among other things, hosts Sports Center for ESPN. You saw him in studio late last night. He's here right now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing on this Monday? I don't have him. It's a mute button, I think. There we go.
Hello.
I got you. That mute button. That mute button's gotten all of us at one point.
I know. I can't believe that the 18th week of the NFL season actually came and went. Like, it wasn't that long ago, I felt like, when the season started, right? But then you do realize for football standards, it is 18 weeks is a long time. Then all of a sudden it's over, and now we're talking about the playoffs again. It's amazing how time just sort of speeds up whenever it wants to.
It does that for me in college basketball every season. I look up and I'm like, oh, wow, we're 2 months into this thing. And it's just flown by. Like, I don't even – and I think it's because I'm just back and forth and moving around nonstop that I just lose track of time. But the offseason seems very slow, which I appreciate. Mm-hmm. But the season, it flies by. And so I understand what you're referencing. And week 18, last night, I mean – I don't know that you could end a regular season any better than what we had last night. I go into it not really caring one way or another, other than it's a high-stakes football game with Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'll turn it on. By the end of it, I was not literally standing on my couch, but I felt like I was. That was as good as it gets, man.
Yeah, it was. And here's some inside television for your listeners and viewers. So, like, that game is on while Nicole Briscoe and I are doing a Sports Center, right? Like, we kind of carry that show until that game ends, and then Scott Van Pelt takes over, and then we come on after. So we're watching that game while we're also trying to do live television. And there was a moment where she was reading a highlight of a game from earlier that day, and I'm watching the game to the side. And it might have been when Boswell missed the extra point. And I reacted, but silently, but I reacted physically, right? Where she noticed, and she, like, looked up from her highlight to see what I was reacting to. So even for us in that moment, because neither one of us cared who won or lost, but you can get wrapped up to it as well. And like from an emotional standpoint and drama, like I don't know what else you would want in a game that mattered that much. I mean, both teams went back and forth, scoring, and then it came down to the final play. And here's the thing, like I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And for that rookie to be in that situation and not come through, he's devastated. But from an overall emotional reaction, there was more reaction to him missing than it would have been if he made it. Right. So from a theater standpoint, it was phenomenal.
I just found myself having these weird emotions. Like I was thrilled for Calvin Austin. He's a Memphis guy. Thrilled for Mike Tomlin. On some level, like happy for Aaron Rodgers. There's a moment where if this kick is good, your career's maybe over. And it's not. So you get to live to play another game, and who knows where it goes from here. But the overwhelming feeling was that kicker, I don't know how you live with that. I just don't. It is incomprehensible to me how you live with that. I've told this story before. I was a pretty good soccer player when I was a kid and had an opportunity to field goal kick in high school. Like the football coach at one point was like, hey, would you be interested in trying this? And I said no, strictly because of that. Whatever good would come of it, I was forever scared of that moment. And my heart, like I didn't care who won the game, but I wanted him to make that kick because I can't stand the idea of him having to walk around today forever living with that.
Hey, you know what? And here's the thing. People always criticize kickers and they say, you've got one job, you've got one job. That doesn't mean that job is easy. Ooh. It doesn't mean it's easy. Even if you are a professional and you are one of the best at the world at it, it doesn't mean what you're actually doing is easy. That's number one. But number two, I give that kid, I say a kid because he's a rookie, so much credit for standing up in that locker room after the game and taking those questions from the media, because we've seen countless examples over the last several years in multiple sports where guys who were in big moments didn't come through, and then they just did not talk to the media afterwards. And we can go through a whole conversation of what athletes' requirements are with the media and things of that nature. But in that moment, everyone wanted to know how he felt. What were the emotions he was feeling, and how did he miss it? All of that stuff. Everyone wants to know that. Hell, his teammates want to know that, right? So for him to stand up there and recognize the value in him doing that, I give him a lot of credit.
So leading up to that game, there were a lot of questions connected to Lamar Jackson. First, would he play? Would he not play? A lot of reporting about the behind-the-scenes stuff between him and John Harbaugh, and questioning perhaps his future with the franchise, maybe even Harbaugh's future with the franchise. Do we have a sense right now where all of this is headed, or is it too fresh?
I think the way Lamar avoided some direct questions last night from Jameson Henley, our ESPN reporter there in Baltimore, says quite a bit about what his mindset is. Now, look, I don't think anyone would want to stand up there and say something that they know is not true in the moment and it come back to bite them. So, Jameson was trying to pin him down to some very direct answers, and Lamar didn't do it because he was so focused on what just happened, and understandably so in some regards. But if you want to stay in Baltimore, you know that in that moment. If you want John Harbaugh to still be your coach, you do know that in that moment, and you would be comfortable saying it. He was not. So that means either he has already thought about moving on, and maybe that's a serious decision and conversation he needs to have with some people, or the same thing about, is John Harbaugh the right coach for this team going forward from this point? Clearly, those thoughts have crossed his mind. If not, he would have had a definitive answer to those questions. Now, I'll say this. If I am the Miami Dolphins, I do what is ever possible to get Lamar Jackson to be my quarterback next season. Whatever is possible, because that is a game-changing transaction for that franchise, and you bring Lamar home, that's a whole other thing for that reset for that organization. But I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar stays in Baltimore either, having said that.
Myles Garrett, big headline from Sunday, 23rd sack of the season. That's the all-time record. I gather there was some controversy connected to it because it wasn't a violent sack as much as Burrow just sort of seemed to crumble in the presence of Myles Garrett. But I think there's some angles that show that he really got him. What did you make of that moment?
Yeah, Joe had nowhere to go.
Right.
So Joe was in self-preservation mode. Right. He already missed a bunch of games this season with an injury. Why is he going to put himself in that position again in a game that didn't matter for anything? He went down. That was smart. His coach would have told him to do that. But here's the thing. Like, Myles Garrett's last sack was actually a half sack, but 2 games before that, the quarterback just went down as well. So those sacks happen out of self-preservation, but that's just some people, Gary, I think, trying to make something out of nothing sometimes, because it goes back to like, so he broke the record that Michael Strahan set, and when Michael Strahan did it, it looked more egregious when Brett Favre went down, quite honestly, for that final sack for Michael Strahan. But look, Myles Garrett has been maybe the best overall player in football all season long, and for him to finally get that is great. I will say this, my boy Mike, last night on Fox NFL Sunday, he says, well, he's got the record for 17 games. I've got the record for 16 games, right? It is one extra game. But here's the deal. Myles Garrett had way less snaps than anybody who's reached 22 and a half sacks, let alone now 23. So he is the sack king for sure.
This morning, headline out of Las Vegas, the Raiders have fired Pete Carroll after just 1 season. The general manager will remain. I guess it made sense to hire Pete Carroll when they hired Pete Carroll, but obviously it didn't go well. 3-14, going to be hard for anybody to survive that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you brought him in, why do you think it was going to be an overnight fix? Because he's Pete Carroll? But how was Seattle performing the last couple of years while he was there? It's not like they were, in the NFC conference championship game every year. So I just don't understand some of these moves. And look, and the Raiders are probably the worst at that anyway, in terms of making like snap decisions, right? If you're going to bring in a coach of his caliber at his age, there's no reason to do it for 1 season, even if you go 3-14. It's just not. Right. So then either you weren't completely committed to that decision to begin with, or you just are not in a position to make quality decisions because you're making these rash decisions based on, whatever it may have been. But also, like, who told Max Crosby he couldn't play anymore? Right. So that had nothing to do with Pete Carroll. So there's some deeper issues there in Las Vegas for sure. But to do Pete Carroll like that after 1 year, I'm not sure. I'm not understanding why that makes sense.
In Cleveland, also a coaching change. Kevin Stefanski out. The organization announced this morning. Some are interpreting that as a good sign for Shedeur Sanders. Do you interpret it as a good sign for Shedeur Sanders?
I'm not certain. Okay. I could see why people feel that way based on some of the comments that Stefanski has made publicly relative to Shedeur's playing time and just his overall play. But I do think for them, I mean, look, every coaching decision is made somewhat in a vacuum of other teams, right? And so the situation in Cleveland a little different to me than bringing in a Super Bowl winning coach in Pete Carroll. Well, Kevin Stefanski was getting an opportunity. It didn't work out, regardless of who the quarterbacks have been there, right? So it had nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders in that regard. But if after so many games of Shedeur Sanders and you believe, wait, maybe this kid can be our starting quarterback going forward, but is this coach the right guy for that plan? Then you make a decision saying, no, probably not. So that makes a little more sense to me than what happened in Las Vegas. And then you look at Raheem Morris in Atlanta, that one doesn't quite make sense to me either, right? I mean, you bring in Michael Penix, he's going to be your quarterback. He gets hurt, you start losing games, and all of a sudden you win 4 straight to actually finish in a tie for the division. Like, it wasn't like they're 7-9, sure, and the other teams in their division had multiple or double-digit wins. They finished tied for the top of the division, but lost in a tiebreaker after having won their last 4 games. But Raheem Morris gets sent out after just 2 seasons. That wouldn't surprise me more than anything.
Last thing before I get you out of here, in college football, before I talk to you next Monday, we will have the national championship game set. On Thursday, it's Miami, Ole Miss. On Friday, it's Oregon, Indiana. We've talked about Curt Cignetti before, but I want to circle back to him because this is crazy. Like, this guy gets this job. It is, by many measuring sticks, the worst power conference football job in the country. He basically promises to flip it into something. When people are skeptical, he famously says, Google me. Watch what I'm going to do. And people are like, what? I was thinking about this, Michael. If a 60-year-old basketball coach from Division II / mid-major got the worst Big Ten job and came in and said, Google me, we would laugh at him. We would jump on the Eye on College Basketball podcast and we would be like, who did Penn State just hire to run their basketball program? Guys talk about Google me? And then in 2 years, Penn State's about to win a national championship. It makes sense of what we're watching. I saw Dan Wolken at Yahoo Sports describe Cignetti just sort of in passing in a column as a, quote, genius. And that term gets thrown around a lot in ways that are reckless, but there's almost no other way to explain. Like, this guy's different than everybody else, isn't he?
Yeah, he's almost like he could have dropped a DJ Khaled line too. Like all I do is win.
Yes.
And he's absolutely right. Like that's what his resume says. And I do believe this, Gary. I believe if you are a quality leader, you would be successful in regardless of whatever career you choose, whether it's business, whether it's education, military, or athletics. And Kurt Signetti is clearly a tremendous leader. But there's other things involving leadership that lead to success. And that's one, putting people in position for them to be successful, but also you knowing what the hell you're doing too. Right. And he clearly knows what the hell he's doing, regardless of the division of football, regardless of the conference, regardless of the players. That guy knows football and he knows how to put together winning teams. And I don't know if we can put into context what this really means, because to your point, it doesn't make sense. We haven't seen anything like this, especially at this level of college football, with all the scrutiny, all the money that's involved, and this guy seemingly came out of nowhere and has the Indiana Hoosiers, one of the teams that Kentucky football would look on their schedule and say, you know what, we can win that game every year. And now this program may end up in the national championship game. That is, it's incredible.
Absolutely incredible. That is Michael Eaves. Make sure you're watching him on SportsCenter. Follow him on X at Michael Eaves. You're the best, buddy. Enjoy your day. I'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, brother. Take care.
Bye-bye. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. The way my brain works, like when I get interested in something, I'm all in on it. I don't read one column about a thing that I'm interested in. I read all the columns about the things that I'm interested in. And over the holiday, like the Signetti thing took hold. And I'm just watching every interview he does. I'm revisiting the 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes did a piece on him a few weeks back. That was just very good. Sort of because most people don't. No. Most people are like, I heard Indiana's good. I mean, how many people knew if I stood up in a sports bar, if I drove down to Max's a month ago, stood on the bar and said, who's Fernando Mendoza? How many people in that bar would have been like, Indiana's quarterback? Some, right? This is all kind of fresh. Yes. So 60 Minutes did a piece on him that I thought did a fabulous job of just explaining who he is, where he's from, and why this is crazy what he's doing. Because again, it's not hyperbole. This would be the equivalent of a 60-year-old man who has basically just won a lot at the Division II and mid-major level, getting whatever you think is the worst job in men's basketball in a power conference. So let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, a 60-year-old mid-major basketball coach who had won some stuff at the Division II level, but, never just basically been that his whole life. And a high major assistant or Division II, mid-major, low major head coach. And he gets the South Carolina basketball job. And South Carolina basketball job is widely regarded as the worst power conference job in America. Now, I'm not saying it is, just play along. And at his press conference, he says, I'm going to win here. What are you even talking about? And they're like, but nobody wins here. How are you going to win? He's like, Google me. Don't ask me how I'm going to win. Google me. That's what I do. And you're like, okay, weirdo. And then in 2 years, South Carolina was ranked number 1 in the country, the 1 seed in the tournament, and projected to win it, and they had the Wooden Award winner. What? That's what this is. Mm-hmm. It's insane. So I'm like watching all these interviews and sit downs and stuff. And he's an interesting guy. He's very sure of himself. It's like really bordering on arrogance and cocky. It's like if this is confidence and this is arrogance and there's a middle, like he's right on it. Yep. I mean, he's right on it. And even like every post-game interview, he finds something to take issue with. Like somebody will say something like, how was your team able to be in a game of this magnitude and take control the way that you, and he's like, well, why wouldn't we be able to take control? Because we're Indiana? Because they call us Indiana? Like I want to say maybe it was the Penn State game or some game. And they were pregame on the field. Like the game's about to kick. Place is going crazy. And they're like, and obviously Indiana's never won here or hasn't won here in 70 years, whatever it was. And he goes, well, that's fine. But this team, they've never played here. You can call them Indiana, and there's been some other Indiana teams, But this Indiana team, they're 0-0 here, never played. So we'll see how it goes. He just has no patience for it's crazy you're doing this at Indiana. No. It's crazy that it's happening in Indiana. There ain't nothing crazy about me doing this. This is what I do. I do this anywhere. I just happen to be doing it here. So everybody gets caught up in this is crazy. And he's like, this is what I expected. Give me the Ohio State job. I'd do it there too. It'd been easier there, but I could do this anywhere. He believed it before he had the job, said it out loud, and he's doing it. Crazy. So it was interesting, these conversations. They asked him about like your work days and stuff. He said, we work, but we don't clock in, clock out. And I don't require people to do anything. I hire people I believe in, and I say, this is your job. Do it. Do your job. If you need me, come get me. I hired you because I think you can do the job. Go do the job. We get in about 7:30, and then we do the job. When is the time to go home? When the job's done. I don't need you at work till 9 o'clock at night. I don't need you to kill yourself being a football coach. Be a good husband. Be a good father. It'll help you be a good coach. You're supposed to be a leader of young men. Be a leader of your home. Go home. Eat dinner with your family. There's enough hours in the day for us to get our job done if we focus when we're here. We don't have to prove each other how hard we work by staying till 11 o'clock at night. That's nonsense. You know what he said? On Saturdays, we play a game. On Sundays, day after a game. On Mondays, we watch some film. On Tuesday, they go an hour 15, hour 25. Wednesday, hour 15, hour 25. Thursday, we'll walk through. Now let's go play. I'm not trying to run it. Like you hear all these practices, and we were out there for 3 hours. You don't need to be out there for 3 hours if you know what you're doing. He just has a real defined, intentional approach. He wants you fresh, not beaten down. He wants you, to do your job, but then go home. Don't stay here all night. I don't want somebody who's ignoring their family. Go home. He's just an interesting guy, and seems to be just as awesome as he says he is. And this college football playoff, everything about it. We'll get to the Ole Miss stuff in 5 more things because it's a circus. But this is literally impossible before the 12-team playoff to have this combination of teams in this way. And it's terrific. The Ole Miss story is a movie, if you wanted it to be. At the very least, it's a great documentary. The Indiana stuff is a movie, whenever you want it to be. Miami, Michael Irvin, back to the 80s. You got that thing that matters. That would be like, for people of my age, like if suddenly UNLV was awesome at basketball again. It'd remind you of when UNLV and Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon and all that. Miami does that for people of a certain age, the U. And then the Oregon, that's the team I actually picked to win the national championship for the playoff. They asked us to do it for CBS Sports. I picked Oregon. I just think Dale Anning's like the next great thing. Yeah. Former Memphis assistant. He worked here, lived here. And that team's awesome too. So Oregon, Indiana, one semifinal, Miami, Ole Miss in the other. Not too long ago, we just picked 2 teams and said, y'all go play and we'll call one of you the national champion. Man. This is so much better.
It really is.
If you want to expand it a little bit more, fine with me.
Go for it.
If you want to make the quarterfinals and semifinals on campuses, I would do that. I don't even understand the pushback to it, other than you just continue to take care of your bowl people. But like I heard somebody say on TV, well, you can't have a national semifinal on campus because that would be an obvious huge advantage for one team over the other. Okay, so what? We play the AFC championship game in a true home road environment. The NFC championship game, true home road environment. If we can play the semifinals of the NFL playoffs in true road home environments, why can't we do it? Why can't we do it in college?
Agreed.
We should. It's better. Can you imagine if Miami was at Ole Miss on Thursday night?
It'd be awesome.
What? If we were getting ready to instead of having Miami, Ole Miss in Glendale, Arizona, and Oregon, Indiana in Atlanta, if you had Miami, Ole Miss in Oxford, and Oregon, Indiana in Bloomington, it's just better.
Yep.
It looks better. It sounds better. It is better. We'll get there eventually. It'll probably take some old bowl executive dying, and then they'll move on.
Likely so.
but we'll get there eventually. Sooner the better. Either way, I'll take what we can get. This is the best version of postseason college football we've ever had. It's not perfect, but it's the best we've ever had by far. And Thursday night, Friday night in prime time, we get a pair of awesome national semifinals with point spreads no bigger than 4 points in either game.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. We come back, turn our attention to college basketball. Penny Hardaway's Tigers won again. 3-game winning streak, 2-0 in the American. Now 7-7 on the season, back to 500. Oh, ask Bennett how interested he is in what's happening now with the Tigers. We'll do that next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
It's gonna be food.
Oh, Jared!
Support your Grizzlies by voting for them to the 2026 All-Star Game.
Oh, Edie with the big swat on the deck, floats it up, off the glass and in! Cedric Power, yes sir!
Vote now by going to grizzlies.com/all-star.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All three of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
How are you able to release and have an instrumental song become a huge deal?
And I forget who the disc jockey was, but he put the wrong side on. He put the Green Onions by mistake and played the B side instead of the A side.
No!
And that's when the change happened. These people started to call the station and say, play that song again.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Penny Hardaway's Tigers extended their winning streak to 3 games this weekend with a 76-70 victory over Rice. So now they're back to 500. Next up, Florida Atlantic on the road. Big Bet Bennett, I was in studio with Jessica Benson earlier today. She asked me, where am I at with Tiger basketball? Am I encouraged? Am I discouraged? Am I disinterested? How would you answer that very specific question?
I would say that I'm encouraged by the start to conference play, although I did find it difficult to get up for a road game at Rice. Yes.
That was my main takeaway from really these past 2 games. The win over North Texas, the win over Rice to start the American portion of the schedule 2-0. I, like you, found it difficult to invest in it.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of feels like at this point, because it's true, it's not that it doesn't matter what happens between now and the conference tournament, because, Penny Hardaway's got a Wikipedia page. There's a place on there where you put conference championships, and every one you get, it looks better, right? Bill Self's got a bunch. Mark Few's got a bunch. Penny Hardaway's got some, but I'm sure he'd like more. So why not try to win the regular season title? But around here, we mostly talk about NCAA tournament appearances and NCAA tournament runs, and don't really get off too much on bragging about winning bad leagues. So sure, you'd like to win it, but in reality, this is going to come down to you make the NCAA tournament or not. And based on what happened in the non-league portion of the schedule, there's no way for them to make the NCAA tournament without winning the conference tournament. So how do you get to a place where you're living and dying with every dribble against Rice from North Texas when you realize no matter what happens against Rice or North Texas in late December, early January, the truth is it's only going to matter what happens in a conference tournament in March as it pertains to did you get where you were trying to get to or not?
Yeah, and for me too, like when I say that I was like finding it hard to get up for a game again, I put this on the league. I'm not putting this as much on, because here's the thing, man. If this was the AAC, 4 or 5 years ago, I'm stoked that we're 2-0 to start conference play. The league has fallen off drastically.
Well, of course it has.
I mean, it is shameful on the league, man, if we're being quite honest. Like, that it's this bad. Like, what big time, player, and I know like these guys are going to take like, probably who has the best offer. A lot of guys are, but like, what player is going to want to go, a big time elite level player going to want to go play in that environment? You know what I mean?
Well, I know one who doesn't, PJ Haggerty.
Yeah.
That's the problem going forward. We've been over this a lot, but never in our lives had the league negatively impacted in any sort of tangible way the University of Memphis men's basketball program. You could play in the Metro. You could play in the Great Midwest. You could play in Conference USA. You could play in the American. You could still get Derrick Rose. You could still get Keith Lee. You could still get Penny Hardaway. You could still get Chris Douglas Roberts. You could still get Amani Bates and Jalen Duren. It never impacted what you were trying to be. A lot like the West Coast Conference does not impact what Gonzaga is trying to be. No other West Coast Conference program can recruit Chet Holmgren, Jalen Suggs, but Gonzaga can, still does, because that program is just a level above everything, and it's a real national brand that a lot of people thought would be impacted by NIL and revenue sharing, but it just has not happened. They're in the top 10 in an obvious national championship contender right now. But that's the only program outside of the traditional power structure that is able to remain what it had been with all of the shakeup in college athletics. And Memphis clearly isn't anymore. It's just not. So to answer your question, I think the recruiting, the type of guys you could recruit as recently as 5 years ago is kind of over in this league. Because once upon a time, even if it wasn't the Big Ten or the SEC, the Americans still had a Houston program that is now a championship contender every year, quite literally played in the national championship game last season. At one point, it had a UConn program that has won 2 of the past 3 national championships. It had a UCF program that maybe wasn't consistently great, but did make the NCAA tournament out of the American, did really push that Duke team with Zion and RJ Barrett. And, oh, by the way, this weekend beat Kansas and should return to the AP Top 25 poll today. Like, you had Cincinnati. You had Wichita State with Greg Marshall. You had real basketball programs where you could look around and be like, yeah, they're like us. They're like us. They care like us. They recruit like us. You can't do that anymore. Yeah. And it's a real problem. It's a real problem. It doesn't necessarily mean, just so we're clear, that it was a mistake to not join the new Pac-12. That's a complicated thing. I would much rather be in the new Pac-12 than this American.
What this is right now, yeah.
No question. But it's a complicated thing. I'm not saying that was a mistake. What I am saying is it is hard to make people care about where you're at right now. And I think, unfortunately, even if they keep winning, we're going to settle into this place where you will look across at me some morning and be like, so did Memphis play last night? I remember it getting that way in the Tubby Smith years. Memphis would have a game, and people who used to live and die with it didn't even know it was happening. I'm scared we could get there, not necessarily because the Memphis team is so bad, but because the Memphis team is not good, and it's playing a bunch of programs that you just do not care about because nobody cares about them.
Yeah, and to put a positive spin on it, listen, after what I've seen to start conference play, I think they can easily win this conference. Well, I believe that.
Well, they are projected now to win the conference with a 13-5 league record. Tulsa, which had been on a 10-game winning streak, took a loss this weekend. They're now projected to finish 12-6 in the league. So Memphis, according to KenPom, 7-7 overall, now projected to finish 13-5 in the American. That would be an outright conference championship. It would not get you anywhere close to the at-large conversation, but it would make you the 1 seed in the conference tournament, and the 1 seed is supposed to win it.
Yep.
Doug McDaniel, if we want to focus on a bright spot, he was good. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. He's their best player.
Yes.
He's their most reliable player.
Most consistent.
Yeah, Penny said this afterwards. I loved his performance, but what I loved more was his mental focus today. He just understands that Memphis can't lose in this league, and that's no knock on anybody else. That's just what we have to deal with. And I could tell today that he was the most in tune with what was going on for the entire 40 minutes as he's ever been. He didn't take any lapses. If somebody wasn't playing at the level that we needed them to play at, he was like, hey, we've got to get him out of the game. We got to get somebody else in. Maybe he can come back later. That's all part of leadership. Everybody's not going to be happy. So that's encouraging. This is somebody who I don't think has ever been described as a leader. He had problems at Michigan, was sort of all over the place at Kansas State. But if he is settling into that role here, I guess that's encouraging. So 3-game winning streak now. Doug McDaniel settling into a leadership / best player role. And like I said, next Sunday, that's the next game. Nothing midweek this week at FAU. Projected score at KenPom, Memphis 76, FAU 75. So that should be a good one down in South Florida.
Number 2.
On the subject of college basketball, we are, I don't know if you know this, now 9 full weeks into the season. Today starts week 10.
Okay.
And there are still 6 undefeated teams left at the Division I level. I'm not going to trivia time you on it.
I was going to say, I wonder if I could name them.
Okay, let's see.
I cannot. There's no way I could do it.
You could get some of them. Just look at the top of the AP poll.
I'm just going to throw out some names.
Okay.
Duke
is not undefeated.
North Carolina.
Nope.
Gonzaga.
Mm-mm.
Oh, my God. It's not Kansas. Ohio State?
No.
They're bad.
Yeah. They're not bad. They're mediocre. Michigan is undefeated.
Michigan is
undefeated just over the weekend.
Pull up the top 25.
Beat USC by 30. So this is interesting. Michigan right now, undefeated. They've got 3 wins over ranked teams in the AP poll. All 3 of those wins coming by at least 30 points. They beat Gonzaga by 40. I think Auburn by 30. USC by 30. They are quite literally, this Michigan team, the first team in the history of the AP poll to ever beat 3 straight ranked opponents by at least 30 points. Their net rating at KenPom right now is like plus 39 point something. The highest net rating ever at KenPom is Duke 1999. It's a little above 40. If Michigan were to finish this season with the current net rating it has at KenPom, it would go down as the second highest KenPom rating of any team in the history of the database that goes back to the 1996-97 season. So yes, Michigan is one of the undefeated teams, the favorite to win the national championship right now, and blowing absolutely everybody out. Based on current projections, they will not be an underdog in any game they play the rest of the season, no matter who is it against and no matter where it's played.
I would have never gotten this, by the way, ever. Nebraska's
one of them.
Vanderbilt I should have gotten because they were undefeated coming into the Memphis game.
So it's the top of the AP poll, Arizona, Michigan, Iowa State, those 3. Then you go down a little bit in the poll, Nebraska, Vanderbilt. Those were 2 teams that started the season unranked. And though Nebraska just got a win over Michigan State this past weekend, Vanderbilt still has 0 wins over currently ranked teams, although that could change later today if SMU or UCF enter the AP poll, which at least one of them, maybe two should. But neither one of those have like huge big wins, or at least haven't had them until this past weekend.
I'd like to hitch my wagon in Nebraska.
I think they're good.
Just because it was fun when they came here for the NCAA tournament. They had never won a tournament game. They still didn't, right? Like
They are the only power conference team in men's college basketball that has never won a game in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
the only one.
I'm rooting for them.
I am too. Like, Fred Hoiberg's the coach there now, and I know that means a lot to him. Like, he wants to be the person.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I talked to him in the preseason. He was like, we came to Memphis, loved it. We brought people.
Yeah.
And he said, I wanted so badly to get that win, and I know it means something to him. And now his son, Sam, is one of his best players. So it's just a neat little story. So you got at the top of the poll, Michigan, Arizona, Iowa State, 3 undefeateds. Then Nebraska and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt plays Alabama on Wednesday. And that'll be their best opportunity to get their biggest win of the season. There's still some Vandy skeptics out there, even though Vandy is undefeated and 5th at KenPom. But if you go knock out Alabama to get to, I think it would be 15-0, there should be no other skeptic because everybody understands Alabama's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 6th one is Miami, Ohio. Wally Zerbiak's Redhawks, also undefeated. Mostly a byproduct of the schedule. They were the classic going to be a good mid-major team, so nobody would schedule them.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to schedule like 3 91s, a bunch of 300 KenPom teams. And so they haven't played anybody other than Akron. Akron's top 60, but they're undefeated. And
so they schedule like the American Conference, basically outside of Memphis.
It's basically they'd be a pretty good American team.
Got it.
They'd be a top-tier American team. But based on like the hardest stuff for their schedule, although it was never that hard, it is behind them. So they could be the last undefeated team in the country. Right now, Michigan, Arizona, and Miami, Ohio are all projected to be favorites in every regular season remaining game. So just to hammer home the point of how rare this is, through 9 weeks of the season to have 6 undefeated teams. Last year, at this point in the season, there was 1. It was Tennessee. And then they went out on January 7th, I believe, and lost to Florida by 30. And then there were no more undefeated teams. But this time last year, there was only 1. This time 2 years ago, also only 1. This time 3 years ago, 0. This time 4 years ago, there were 2. Baylor and USC. This time 5 years ago, there were 2, Baylor and Gonzaga. And those 2 happened to go on to play for the national championship against each other. But in the past 5 years, there's never been more than 2. Sometimes there's been 0. Right now there's 6. So who knows if one of these will emerge as the actual national champion. But you're watching excellence at the top of the AP poll right now in an unusual way, in a way that we don't normally see.
Number 3.
Oh, we're still trying to figure out who's going to coach the Ole Miss Rebels in the national semifinals. What a story this is.
A lot going on there.
Like,
just a lot of people in and out of that organization.
Like, can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine the University of Memphis is getting ready to play UCLA in the Final Four, and we don't really know exactly who's going to be coaching? It's just crazy.
It is crazy.
And oh, by the way, John Calipari, who recruited the whole team, coached the team up until this point, he's now at Kentucky recruiting through the transfer portal. And Derek Kellogg's coaching the Tigers against Ben Howland and UCLA. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy.
It really is.
So, as you know, while we were, at least while I was out, Ole Miss won its quarterfinal game, beat Georgia to advance to the national semifinals where they will now play Miami. And though they are an underdog in that game and still wildly unlikely to do this, at this point,
I think that for it to line up like, I mean, listen, no disrespect to Miami, but if you're Ole Miss and you say you could beat Georgia and then get Miami in the next game, come on.
Exactly right. Now, Miami's on paper better than them.
Sure.
Or at least favored to beat them.
Still.
But, remember one of our last shows of 2025, I told you over at The Athletic, they'd done an anonymous poll, asked like 30 college coaches, who's going to win this national championship? And like 90% of the respondents said either Ohio State or Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Almost nobody said Indiana, which looks like it's going to be a mistake. They're awesome.
It's crazy.
I mean, they're outrageous. Like Kurt Signetti is. Like, really, There's nothing like this. There's no comp to what we're watching.
No.
He is maybe the greatest. I mean, I don't want to get hyperbolic, but we've never seen anything like what he's doing. This is like taking over the worst thing in the world and making it the best thing in the world inside of 2 years.
Yep.
This is crazy. All right. I don't see they're tearing it up in the transfer portal now. Like they're reloading already.
Their quarterback's probably going to go number 1 in the draft.
But here's my point. Almost everybody who knows college football, like works in it, the coaches, they know these teams, they know these players. They said it's either going to be Ohio State or Georgia. Well, Ohio State's done, and Georgia's done because you did them. So why not us? Why not us?
Man.
And you don't know who's all going to be in the locker room with you. A lot of the coaches, position coaches that had left for LSU, then came back to coach in the quarterfinal, they're now at LSU. They're just done. They're done at Ole Miss. Sounds like Charlie Weiss is going to call plays. He is literally right now, his job title is LSU offensive coordinator. That's his job. He is employed by Louisiana State University. He is their offensive coordinator. He is right now recruiting for LSU and also preparing Ole Miss for a game. And there are reports that Ole Miss is going to turn in a tampering charge against LSU, which is complicated because,
you got guys on the staff that coach there.
Isn't LSU's defense you invited us in?
That's true.
You open the door and say, come on in. Come on in. So this is just all crazy. They got to fix this. This is not fair to anybody.
No.
You're putting people in terrible positions that they didn't ask to be in. And more than that, you are, on some level, decreasing the likelihood of a special thing for a bunch of young men who have worked like crazy to put themselves in this position. In almost every other sport you can think of, all of them that I know, the coaches who guide you to a playoff coach you through the playoff without exception. You don't change managers before the World Series, right?
Right.
You don't get a new basketball coach in the middle of the Western Conference Finals. And if the Miami Heat were in the finals and suddenly Eric Spoelstra wasn't going to be coaching them, we would all go on television and say, this is a disadvantage for Miami. They've just lost one of the best coaches in the sport. Right now, there are young men who are trying to do something without all of the tools that they had available to them most of the way. That stinks.
Yep.
That's not good for anybody. Like I've said, as we've talked about the uproar over Baylor enrolling a former NBA draft pick and having him play this weekend. Listen, people have a lot of different opinions about what will work, what won't work, what's legal, what's not. Can you collectively bargain or not? I think we were at a time in a place with college athletics for different reasons in football and men's basketball, but there's real issues in the sport that people seem to be fired up about. On the football side, it's the calendar. On the basketball side, it's who's eligible and who's not. I'm not smart enough to know exactly what will hold up to legal scrutiny or not. And there are smart people I listen to who say completely different things. Incredibly accomplished attorneys say the next step is collective bargaining. That's what you have to do. And then I get equally smart people on this side saying, yeah, but that's way more difficult than you think and it's not going to work. I don't know the truth. Here's what I know. I could give you a list of people who both say they care about college athletics and have the power to change it. And I could give you a list of some of the best attorneys in the world who understand this space. Let's book a conference room at the nicest resort, wherever you want to do it, and let's get in there and let's start doing the work. Here's my idea. Will this hold up to legal scrutiny? Here's my idea. Would this hold up to legal scrutiny? Talk through it and do it. Stop bitching every day about how frustrated you are and get in there and do the work and fix it. This is a message in any aspect of life. With my own children, I get the thing I try to stress to my life, This thing you're complaining about every day ain't going to change, all right? So fix it. Fix it so we never have to talk about this again. I don't know where my backpack is. Then let's put the backpack in the same place every day so that every day we know exactly where it is. Instead of waking up every day looking for the back. Let's acknowledge the problem and then fix it. Let's stop waking up every day pretending today that problem that's here every day ain't going to be here today. Fix the problem. That's what you got to do in college athletics. Mm-hmm. Go fix the problem. Because what we're watching happen in Oxford right now, it's a big problem. You shouldn't have Trinidad Chambliss fighting for an extra year of eligibility, dealing with transfer portal options, and preparing for what amounts to the Final Four.
Right.
This is all crazy. You shouldn't have coaches taking private planes back and forth from Baton Rouge to Oxford. Recruiting for this school, preparing this school, but then also, on some level, trying to lure players from this school to that school back with you. It's all a mess. Get the smart people with power and the attorneys in a room. Figure out a way to fix this. In the meantime, I can't wait for Ole Miss Miami. It's going to be a fun football game.
Number 4.
Song Sung Blue, the hit from Memphis and Craig Brewer, now has a streaming date release. You know when it is?
No.
Next Tuesday. If you weren't able to get out to the theaters, you'll be able to watch it next.
I was able to get out.
So was I. We went on Christmas.
Did you really? You went on Christmas Day?
As a family to the Paradisa and got to spend time with Craig there.
Oh, yeah. I saw your picture with him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Got to introduce the family to Craig and spend some time with him there. It was like, a lot of people wanted to spend time with him, so didn't take up too much of it. But it's just nice to see him and see how this has unfolded.
Yeah.
Because here's the truth. Like, I love Craig Brewer. He's an accomplished and terrific filmmaker. I was going to see this no matter what and assumed it'd be good no matter what. But I didn't know what other people would think. And have you seen it's 98% approval, verified users, more than 2,500 at Rotten Tomatoes, and nearly 80% from critics. So this is a hit by any measuring stick.
Yeah, I came on here the day after I saw it, and I think it might be the best movie he's ever done. I know that we hold Hustle and Flow so dear to our hearts here because it's about Memphis, but I think this might be his best movie. It was really good. I mean, the 2 stars are both amazing in it. It's just
like Kate Hudson's going to win stuff for this.
I think so too. And so yeah, it was just. It was cool, man. The whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, man, that is so cool that this guy that I've met before and sat and talked to, made this movie. And I'm sitting here watching it with my wife in a packed theater. Like, it was cool.
The film's got like a real heart to it too. Like it'll pull you in different directions. Like, I'm not embarrassed to say, like, I teared up a little bit at the end.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. It's an emotional roller coaster.
It'll take you to a place.
Yeah.
And it's been received well.
Yeah.
Including by Neil Diamond. Did you read this?
No.
So Craig was asked in a recent interview, so has Neil Diamond seen it? And what do you know about that? And I'll just read you what he said. He said, I had been prepped that Neil does not get effusively enthusiastic or into movies. He watches them, he studies them, and that's what I was told. So basically they was like, hey, like if he doesn't say, this is the best thing I've ever seen, like don't take offense. He's just not that kind of guy. Mm-hmm. He could love it and be incapable of showing that to you. So don't it's a little bit like what Timothy Chalamet said about Bob Dylan. It was like, I don't know Bob Dylan. I'd never met Bob Dylan. I have no feedback from Bob Dylan. I hope he appreciates this, but I'm assuming I'll never know. And so you just have these sort of things, and somebody was like, hey, listen, Neil's going to see the film, but like if he doesn't run over and hug you, don't let that bother you, because that's not really the type of guy he is. Anyway, Craig says, but I was told from his people that they were surprised to see just how enthusiastic he started to get with the film, that he was tapping his foot, that he would applaud after each music number, and that he cried. He went up to the projectionist at the theater, or the person who was running the screening, and when they introduced themselves to him, he said, okay, well, when's the next screening? Can we watch it again? And so I was so happy about his reaction, because I hope what it does for him, not that he looks for this or needs it, but I just hope he knows how incredibly relevant his contribution to songwriting is. Those songs are beautiful. And yeah, he's a performer, but he's a writer. He wrote these. He thought them. He felt them in his soul, and then he created them. And so, according to Craig, he's been told that Neil Diamond was excellent and really enjoyed it. And the production price on all this, the budget was like $30 million. It's already exceeded that. Mm-hmm. So critics dig it. Audiences love it. It's a moneymaker. And this is the type of thing that allows you to get the next film made.
Yeah, and his next movie is the Snoop Dogg biopic, so that's going to be huge.
I didn't know that until he told me that at the Paradiso. Somebody else was like, so what's next? And we were all around, and he was like, it's a Snoop Dogg biopic, which will be huge.
It'll be huge, yeah.
Huge, right? And so just couldn't be happier. And so to everybody who went out to the theaters to support not only, the film industry, but specifically somebody who cares deeply about this place and is a big part of the fabric of this place, thank you for that. And if you haven't been able to get to the theaters, according to reports, a week from tomorrow, you will be able to stream Song Sung Blue at home.
Number 5.
And it's the end of the air over at 92.9 FM ESPN. Our old buddy Jeff Calkins announced he's retiring from radio the end of the week.
This made me sad when I saw it.
It made me happy for him.
Well, yeah, I'm obviously happy for him, but it's Jeff's an institution.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Now he ain't going nowhere. He's still going to be writing columns for the Daily Memphian. We might even pull him over here every once in a while.
Okay.
But yeah, like 92.9 was a rock station for people who don't know. It was a rock station. 93X, I think, is what they used to call it.
Yep.
And
then y'all ruined it.
And then we ruined it.
Yeah.
We ruined it.
Thanks a lot for killing rock and roll.
That is, I would get that allegation all the time. Like early days, you would just be sitting here talking about John Calipari, and you just get a tweet and be like, "You ruined 93X.
Yeah,
just play Metallica, dummy."
Yeah,
and I'd be like, "What did I do?" And but then they flipped it first before Jeff and I there. They just flipped it to ESPN. They just laid off all the DJs.
Damn, that's not unique to that situation.
They laid off all the DJs. They were just running ESPN radio all day long.
Yeah.
And Jeff and I had an idea, like, hey, would you guys be interested in a local show? And here's the truth: it was going to be the Jeff and Gary show because we'd already been doing that for 2 years at AM 730. And Jeff wouldn't mind me saying this because it's the truth, and I think he said it publicly. He was going through a divorce at the time, and Dan Barron, who ran 92.9, wanted a afternoon show, and we wanted to do a morning show, and he wanted an afternoon show, and Jeff couldn't do afternoons in studio because he had to pick his kids up from school every other week or whatever it was. So then it was going to be the Gary Parrish show with Jeff Calkins, and I would just have Jeff on the phone every day at 5 o'clock, and that's how we ended up doing that. And then, of course, he went and got his own show in the morning, and I would go on his show, and he'd go on my show, and we spent years talking over there, and those are some of the favorite conversations.
Oh, yeah. We had some good times.
At 5 o'clock, we'd just be like, hey, and here's Jeff Calkins. Hey, what's going on? And sometimes it was very intentional. We were going to talk about the Grizzlies or the Tigers or whatever we needed to talk about. Yeah. But often my most enjoyable conversations, they were just
about porn stars.
Whatever came up. Whatever came up.
That's right.
And why anybody ever enjoyed listening to the two of us talk to each other about things that couldn't possibly matter to most, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever thought long enough about it to try to figure it out. But for some reason, it works. So that's one of my best friends in the whole world. A real institution in this market. Like I don't say this. It was cool for me to get to know Jeff Calkins because before I knew Jeff Calkins, he was just the face in the Commercial Appeal newspaper that I read every day. I don't know that I wanted to be him, but I wanted to be something like him. I wanted to be something like that. And then for him to, then be my coworker and my friend and then my co-host, just the coolest thing. And so can't wait to listen to him have his final week over there. I didn't really do it like this. I didn't announce I was leaving until like the last 3 minutes of the Gary Parrish show on 92.9 FM ESPN.
That's right.
I didn't have the whole week build up. I didn't do the retirement tour. I was just like, hey, by the way, guys, I'm done here. I'll see you over at Grind City Media in like 3 months or something like that. So I didn't have this whole build up so I'm interested to see how he's going to do it. And I might pop over there with him at some point this week and chop it up for a little bit. But absolutely, congratulations to Jeff Calkins retiring from radio. And our buddies Jason and John are going to fill in that 9 o'clock morning show now. So Congratulations to them as well. Be back with Carry Out.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of over $550,000 in free play and a brand new Lincoln. Here Comes Santa takes flight on Saturday, November 1st, when you can begin earning entries. And don't forget the grand finale drawings on Saturday, November 29th and Saturday, December 27th to win a share of over $40,000 in free play or a brand new Lincoln. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at grizzlies.com/Saturday.
Grizz fans ages 50 and up, it's your time to shine. Step onto the court and show off your moves with a Steppin' Seniors halftime performance. This special group experience includes a ticket to the game, a 25th anniversary t-shirt, and access to rehearsals with the Grizzlies live entertainment team prior to the big show. The first Steppin' Seniors game is Sunday, January 11th, when the Grizzlies take on the Brooklyn Nets at 2:30 p.m. Make it a night to remember and get your tickets today. GrizzGroups.com/Steppin' Seniors. That's GrizzGroups.com/Steppin' Seniors. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
All right, Bennett, you sent me the story. The Titans will finish the season without a divisional win for the first time in their existence. Does that make you proud or sad?
It makes me sad. It also makes me sad that our quarterback got hurt yesterday.
How
in
bad
a
is
meaningless
it?
Game. We don't know yet. we don't know yet. But if you trust internet doctors, it doesn't look great.
So me and Vernon were out on the golf course yesterday when this happened, and we had, I think he had the Cowboys game on, but they were doing updates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, it was like, and Cam Ward is questionable to return with a shoulder injury, and Vernon was like, "Can you imagine your rookie? Like if it's bad, and it like." Messes up next season too, or cost him an off season. It's like, ugh.
Dude, the other thing, Buck Rising made a great point about this is, okay, you don't fault like them for running the play with him, like whatever. You're trying to win games, you're trying to, score touchdowns. I get it, but it is not the best look that a coaching regime that is not going to be there tomorrow ran that play and got him injured, and he's probably going to miss like the whole off season.
Yuck.
Yeah, bad look.
Well,
Also, F that defender for the Jaguars who landed on him like that. What's wrong with you?
It's a violent game, Bennett.
Nah, dude, that was a late hit. Where was the flag?
Football's a violent game, Bennett.
Protect the quarterbacks. Thought that's what we were doing these days.
Well, Things change.
I guess so.
Things change. Hey, I wish you better days.
Thanks.
I trust that they'll arrive someday, but I can't promise you when. I can't put a number on it, but I think you'll have better days. I just don't know when exactly.
Okay.
Maybe like if you could hire, you know what you should do? You could find you like a Mike Vrabel.
Oh man, yeah. There's a guy like that out there that could coach Cam Ward and the Titans.
What
going
is that
forward.
like? It's like breaking up with like somebody and everybody's like, why are you breaking up with her? And then she like goes off to do her next thing and it's like, I can't believe you broke up with her. She's even better than we thought.
Yeah, 2 seed in the AFC, like no big deal.
We didn't think it was smart for you to break up with Mike Vrabel when you broke up with Mike Vrabel. And turns out he's even better than we thought. Isn't that true? He's even better than we thought.
Yes, for sure. It just like none of that is on him. Like what happened there, none of it's on him. It's on the organization.
I can't imagine a better feeling than being awesome after termination. Like
I know.
I'm sure I'll go through
better than you were before. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll go through this someday. But like one of the weird things or lucky things about my career, I've never lost a job. Like I've never been like, oh no, what's next? But oddly, I need therapy. I'm constantly worried about it.
Sure.
I
think everybody is.
I am constantly thinking about that even though I've never experienced that. I have no actual reason to be concerned about that. But it's always in my head. But imagine, I thought about this. Imagine somebody says, hey, you've done a pretty good job here. We don't want you anymore. You got to go. We don't want you here anymore. And then the next thing that happens after that is they fall apart and you flourish. That's got to be the best.
Yep.
Congratulations to Mike Vrabel. You should try to find you another one of those.
We'll try our best.
All right.
And that said, we're probably going to hire Matt Nagy. So,
well,
see how that goes.
He was so good last time.
Right.
What's today's biggest game?
All right, you said you like the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
I do like them, yeah. Okay, let's do it
5:30 p.m. Central. It's on FS1. They're going to do it at Value City Arena. Nebraska at Ohio State. OSU, -2.5.
Oh, didn't you say they were mid?
They're 10-3. They haven't really beaten anybody any good. They are mid. That's a great word for them. They're very mid. They're also 2.5-point favorites over undefeated Nebraska. How you going to act?
Give me the Huskers.
Okay.
I mean, this is easy.
Bennett said take 2.5 points with Nebraska. Tip 5:30 FS1.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay, Bennett, we ain't got a lot of time. I got a plane to catch. I got so much TV stuff to talk to you about.
Yeah, okay, good.
I am killing it.
You got a week to do it. We're good.
I am killing it.
Are you?
Whoa.
You watching stuff like crazy?
Man.
Yeah.
I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I'm real proud of myself.
I thought you might have some time to catch up.
Among the things we watched over the holiday, and I had no intention of watching this and didn't want to watch it. It wasn't like, I can't wait for this. It was just like, we had the whole family in the room and like a Grizzlies game was over and it was like, what do y'all want to put on the TV? And it was like something everybody can watch that's easy. So I said, hey, why don't we watch this Taylor Swift documentary? On
the Disney Plus one.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Great.
Okay.
6 parts. They're about an hour each. And it's just a documentary leading into her last show of the Eras tour. But it's like a real documentary where they're like, they're going to spend a whole half an episode on this dancer.
Right on.
Half an episode on this choreographer. It is great. She is great. And I know that it's made with that intention. But you couldn't make one to make her look awful. Like, here's what I'm trying to tell you. There are people in this world who walk around every day like, I hate Taylor Swift. My wife runs into it a lot because she owns a children's store and there's a Taylor Swift merchandise. And every once in a while, mom will be like, we're looking for something for a little girl. And my wife will be like, well, here's have you seen this Taylor Swift backpack? And the mom will go, no, not Taylor Swift. We don't like Taylor Swift. Because, she didn't vote for who they wanted her to vote for, right? And it's like, Kelly was like, how do you handle that? I was like, I'd flip it back around on them. I'd be like, why would you hate Taylor Swift? You sound weird. Why exactly? Put words on that. Because she should be impossible to hate. Everybody who works with her loves her. She takes care of the people around her. They all swear by her. And she just comes across as she's awesome. She's like the best of us. And it is weird that some people act like she's the worst of us.
Agreed.
She's like the best of us. We should want our daughters to be something closer to Taylor Swift than most things. And this documentary, I thought, does a good job of showing her in that light. Intentionally, sure, but it's all real footage. It's all real stuff that happened. I thought it was great. Easy to watch.
Okay.
Never bored. I don't even think you have to dig Taylor Swift to love it, because I don't even dig Taylor Swift like that. I respect her. I'm not driving around listening to Taylor Swift songs all day long, but I like her. And this really does a good job of showing her. And if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you'll love it. If you're not, I think you'll come away from it with hey, I don't know if I love her music, but she seems like a pretty decent human being. Taylor Swift, The End of an Era,
Okay.
6-part documentary. You can stream it all right now, Disney+.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, there's a report over at CBSSports.com this morning that Trinidad Chambliss will re-sign with Ole Miss, contingent on him getting a waiver from the NCAA for a 6-year. He's got what appears to be a decent chance to get it, and they're going to fight for it, and obviously there'll be a lot of money behind it. So if you want to read about that, Brad Crawford's got the headline. It's on the homepage. But the report, Trinidad Chambliss could probably play just about anywhere in the country next season if eligible. He will play college football, if he plays it, in Oxford, Mississippi. That's good news for Ole Miss fans heading into this national semifinal.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Tuesday. I'll be talking to you from New York City. And we'll be getting ready for Grizzlies and Spurs inside FedEx Forum. See if we can snap a little losing streak. Should be fun. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.